The Electric Company in Utica, New York, man. I have so much love for that place. It's kind of hard to describe. I remember the first time I went to Utica, I was like, you get booked on these gigs, and I was like, what is Utica? Like I had never been there before. I had never heard of it. I was just like, what is Utica, New York? And I rolled into the Electric Company with Peter Prince. I was opening for Peter, and we were both playing solo acoustic. And I think that there was like 7 people there, and we rocked out as best we could, and we had a blast. I just still remember it. I remember Jay Brady was doing sound, and he sat in on mandolin with both me and Peter. Utica was the first place that we, we were coming from Boston, and we had been doing well in our hometown and had kind of built up a big thing there. And then we were starting to tour around, and at the time, Utica was really far away. It was like I wasn't getting too much further from Boston. So it was the first place that was kind of like a success story for us. It was really the first place that we saw people coming out in numbers, and then all of a sudden we were selling out this venue and just having a blast. And it was really like other than our hometown, which we had built for years and sort of got people out more and more in Boston, Utica was the first place on the road that we had success. I also think that like I said, for me, the Electric Company is inseparable from Utica for me, and the Electric Company is inseparable from Z for sure. I mean, it was really all about Z. Just kind of run that place the way he did, and just he sort of personifies Utica a lot to me. He's got this kind of hard edge to him. He's in a band called Brass Knuckle Intercourse. He's a tough dude. He's got an edge, but he's got a great heart, and he's got so much love. And that to me is kind of like what Utica is. You know what I mean? It's kind of sort of a hard-nosed town in some ways, and it's been through some stuff, and but it's people have a lot of pride there in that place, and just there's a lot of love there. People just are that place has a soul. It has roots. I don't know why. It's funny. We would sport our I Love Utica shirts very proudly, man. It was I really mean that when I wear it. I love Utica because Utica's had so much love for me and for us and for our band. And I think that's maybe why it's worked. I think I don't know, for whatever reason, I think people could always tell that we were just genuinely psyched to be there because they were genuinely psyched that we would come. And I always just felt like it was equal, it was just the love that we were getting. We were really genuinely trying to give back. And then I think that's the reason, I think that's why we've had so much success there and people seem to remember us there, is because we just seem to meet on equal terms, But stories that I remember from the Electric Company are I just remember feeling I've just gotten so much love there. I mean, a few years ago, the Superman movie was out, and there was the local paper had or the local weekly had a picture of Superman and a picture of me on the front cover, and it said Supermen. I can't I don't even know what to say. And then there was an article about Paul Simon, but there was no picture of him. Unbelievable, And then I remember for a while, at the EC, there was a picture of Trey Anastasio wearing his I Love Utica. No, there was a picture of Trey. I remember at the Electric Company there was a picture of they had a picture of Trey Anastasio on one side of the stage, and I think he was wearing his I Love Utica shirt, but I don't know. And then there was a picture of me on the other side of the stage, wearing mine. And it was picture of Trey, picture of me. I mean, it was just I just can't believe I couldn't believe sometimes I don't know just how much love we got there. One of my favorite stories. Well, I just remember, God, there's so many, but the night that we did Halloween there. And I dressed up like Peter Prince, and he dressed up like me. And the guys all dressed up in the moon boot jumpsuits, and we were doing a tribute to Moon Boot Lover, which meant so much to us to do. And I just remember Peter was supposed to, we're in the green room with Peter before the show, and he's raging, and he's got like his flying V, and he had like signatures all over his flying V. He had like, I remember he had like Eddie Money and like ballpoint pen on the bottom of his flying V guitar. And there was that big blue tub of like ice, which would always be filled with drinks in the back room. And by the end of the night, he was getting like just all crazy that night, and he just like slammed his flying V in the ice bucket and was like, "Yeah, man!" And, like, we were like worried for the guitar, but he wasn't caring. But I remember we started that set for like the Moon Boot Lover thing, and then Peter, I think, was supposed to join us like on stage like a couple songs into the set, but we were doing his tunes, and we're doing the first song, and I just like I'm playing, I'm dressed up like Peter, I got the bald wig on and everything, and the jumpsuit, and I just like I'm singing the song, and I just hear this like wall of sound coming from this side of the stage, like, and I was just like, what is that? And it was Peter, like a freight train, just coming, just blasting his amp so loud and just crushing it, coming and blasting on his guitar, and like that meant a lot to me, and to all of us. It was just amazing. And then I've been starting to stand up now when I do shows, but I sat down for years and years and years, and there was always like certain kind of stools would work, certain ones would be awkward, I'd be like up like this, but there was a certain kind of stool that was like, it's got like a round base, a round seat, and it's like a kind of a high bar stool. There's a certain kind of stool that works, and you see them in certain bars. And so I would always look for that if I could get one, but then, in a certain bar, but they wouldn't always have them. Utica the electric company was just full of those kind of stools. So I figured I'd take one on the road with me, so I asked Z, he told me to ask Laura. I was like, hey, can I buy a stool from you? She was like, you buy a stool? And she sold me a stool from the electric company for $10. And I toured with that stool like for years, and until the point where it was just like so squeaking from my foot kicking that like I had to get rid of it because it was starting to disrupt people in the front row. So then I got basically the same stool with like a fancy drum throne on it, and that's the one I use now, but mostly I stand now. But yeah, I had that. I proudly carried that stool from the electric company for years. I just want to say too, I still have that stool from the electric company for sure. I had to take it off. I had to retire it from the road, but I still have it in the house, and I'll probably never get rid of that thing.